I shall now review Islander Issue 4 by the Lotus Eaters. Previously, I have reviewed books by David Irving, Semi-Agog, and Antelope Hill. I rated them on a number of metrics, which I shall now apply. Books are made for reading, so does this one invite me to read. First of all, Islander is a magazine and not a book. Thus, when it arrived, I was a little disappointed by how thin it is. But I am used to books, sometimes thick books, so my first impression was unfair. That being said, Islander is 57 pages long and measures 8 1/4 inches by 11 3/4 inches. In other words, it is A4. This makes it large enough to be handy and light enough to be convenient. Any larger or heavier would have been a disadvantage, I think. Those 57 pages might have looked thin, but I am grateful for them now. The margins are generally generous, so you can lay it flat on a table without risk to the spine. The title is Islander. I happen to know that it is issue 4, but nowhere on the front is the number 4 in evidence. On the spine it is Islander magazine, and it does say issue number 4. Given how thin this magazine is, it is hard to spot what it says on the spine. Still, the key word is Islander, and it evokes being apart from the crowd, a man as an island, but also references the English identity behind it. To be an islander is to be isolated, incubated, insulated, and independent, thus forging one's own destiny, free from land invasion and the destiny of neighbours. Islander magazine suggests that this is not for mass appeal or trying to court popularity. It is a no riff-raff sort of title. The cover has the title prominent and alone at the top in red on a black background. No messing around here. The title is given to you straight and immediately, like a firm handshake. Then we have an image beneath of a man in shadow lit up by a local light source, a light or candle. It lights his table, but not his room. Before him lie a number of things that evoke history, culture, civilization spanning millennia. Bone, a helmet, books, a stone tablet, and the man himself has a smartphone at which he stares. Is he using it to make sense of the incongruous arrangement before him, or is he distracted from them by it? Is he using it or it him? Such questions are appropriate for the magazine's content. The back of the cover has no blurb. It is black and red, a volcano spitting lava maybe. But are those handprints in the red? Is there a face? Is it a cave drawing, some ancient expression, its meaning lost to history, where we can see it but never know it? It is intriguing and striking and appropriate for what lies within. The language used is English, and it is crisp and succinct. With only 57 pages, and with that spread among 11 contributing authors, there is no space to squander on excessive flamboyance, floweriness, or intellectual showing off. There is no fat in this magazine. Dense topics are condensed and made digestible and approachable and intelligible. The language is efficient by necessity. It is not wasteful, and yet it is only as efficient as necessary and no more, so it is not miserly or stingy. There is at least one footnote proper in the text, though each article is prefaced with a summary of what it contains. This is useful in case you want to skip to an article you most urgently want to read, or in case you want to save one for later. There are a number of figures too, from AI art to photos to book covers to medieval tapestries or paintings. Each figure is related to the content of the article to which it belongs. They are not strictly necessary, but serve as visual garnish to enhance the flavour of the intellectual dish. There is a mix of authors, so the style of writing varies, but generally the articles are written impersonally or personally, in general or specifically. Some authors reflect on specific things personal to them, their opinions or experiences. Others provide a more general overview. There is always a recurring theme that for all the doom and gloom, hope is not lost. This moral of the story can take longer or shorter to appear, but it eventually does. Sometimes it takes longer or shorter to tie the article to the theme, but they all get there in the end. The theme of the magazine is Fellaheen, the people who live among the ruins of a fallen civilization and are disconnected from it. They can spend centuries among the ruins, and never wonder or investigate who built them, how, when, or why. They are not part of that civilization's story. The magazine explores the Fellaheen in terms of the West in 2025. Sure, the infrastructure is still there, our civilization is still running, and yet culturally, spiritually, Many people in it are fellaheen. Some authors provide a general overview of this and how it came to be in our modern day. Another looks at the biological causes and implications. Others look at more specific examples, the fellaheen where you might not expect, in the aristocracy, in the music, in the art, within the fiction itself. The fellaheen have saturated everywhere. It is not just something that is happening to us, but could be an inevitable outcome of a civilization. The fellaheen are inevitable, and yet not quite. Here and there are glimmers of hope. The town eccentric, only recently extinct, showed what could be done. The aristocrats retained some merits. The genetics must correct at the group level, and appear to be in that process. Disruptive new technologies have the potential to unleash new energy. I was not sure precisely what to expect from Islander, but I liked it. As I read, I was struck by something appropriate. Here I am, reading issue 4 of 4, having missed issues 1 to 3. I am late to the Islander party, disconnected from the early issues, what came before. At least one reference in this issue to a previous one fell flat for me. I am a disconnected fellaheen reading this, in a sense. The next issue will be a new style, and I am glad to have caught the last of the original style. I look forward to the next one.